Hello everyone and welcome to the Healthy Happy Gut program. Today is week 1 where we will be discussing the functioning of the gut, what a healthy gut looks like, and also what is leaky gut. Firstly, I just want to say thank you for choosing me to help you on your path to better health. Okay, so an unhappy gut is basically going to affect your health far beyond your digestive system, and it can lead to things like autoimmunity, allergies, inflammation and pain, nervous system dysfunction, nutrient deficiencies, and skin concerns, and also much more. So what does a happy gut look like? A happy gut would look like someone who goes to the toilet for a bowel movement 1 to 3 times a day. It's easy to pass, there's no pain involved, there's no pain prior or during that bowel movement. It's medium brown in color, it is smooth and sausage-like in form, and it's a complete bowel movement. So you shouldn't be getting off the toilet feeling like there's still more to come, but it's not coming yet. There should not be any reflux or indigestion. Some people have a lot of or really offensive belching or flatulence. So that is a sign that there is fermentation going on in the gut, and that's a sign that your gut is not happy. There shouldn't be any abdominal pain or cramping, and there shouldn't be any discomfort after you're eating. So you should feel nice and comfortable without that bloating and distension going on that a lot of us tend to get. All right, so what exactly is the gut? Essentially, it's a long tube that runs from the mouth all the way down to the anus. It's made up of 4 main components, which are your esophagus, your stomach, your small intestines, and your large intestines. However, the mouth, your swallowing, your chewing, that is also going in to impact your digestion, and also your pancreatic function, your gallbladder, and your liver health will also impact your digestive function too, and therefore impact your gut health. Okay, so basically what our gut does, it helps to break down our foods into smaller molecules and nutrients that are carried throughout the body for cellular growth, energy, and repair. The gut, the inner lining of the digestive tract, so inside your intestines and even your esophagus and your stomach, is a mucous membrane, much like what's inside our mouth. So that mucous membrane is selectively permeable, meaning it is selective about what it lets through into the bloodstream. So it's there basically to let nutrients and water flow through into the bloodstream. And the surface area of this mucous membrane, just in the small intestines alone, if you were to lay it all out flat, would take up the area of half a tennis court. So it's massive in size, and you can kind of start to imagine then why the health and the integrity of that mucosal lining, or our gut lining, our gut integrity, is so important to our overall gut health. So let's take a closer look at what each of the organs does. And we'll start with the stomach. Our stomach is all about breaking down our food into physical bonds, and it's making it basically be able to flow through into the small intestines. It's where the digestion of starch continues and the breakdown of fats will begin. Your stomach is the size of a large sausage, but can expand up to 4 times that amount when a large amount of food is eaten. And because we eat at a much faster rate than our intestines can absorb and digest, one function of the stomach is to hold or to serve as a mixing chamber and also a holding reservoir. At appropriate intervals after our food is ingested, the stomach will force small quantities of like a gooey paste or food into the small intestines. Everything is broken down into a nice gooey paste, and it's dissolved by the acid in our stomach, which will also kill off any nasty bugs that come through attached to our food. It's no wonder then that 80% of our immune system lives in and around our gut, and this is our white blood cells. It's basically an easy access route for pathogenic bacteria to come in. The role of the small intestines then is to mix the chyme with the juices, bringing it into contact with the mucous membrane for absorption of water and nutrients into the bloodstream, and it will also complete the digestion of carbs, proteins, and fats. So the majority of our absorption of nutrients will occur in the small intestines, and that's 90% worth. The large intestines will complete that absorption, so the last 10%, and it'll produce certain B vitamins. It'll convert protein into amino acids, and it'll form our feces, and it's where peristalsis will start to occur, which is the smooth muscle contractions that basically deliver the contents of the colon to the rectum for elimination. Our gut also plays a huge role in our mental health, so our brain function and our moods. And certain neurotransmitters are actually produced in the gut, so the health of our gut will affect that neurotransmitter production. Serotonin is one of these, and it's largely produced in the gut, and serotonin is what we need for healthy moods. It has been found that people with depression have low serotonin levels, so it's just solid evidence really that to improve our mental health, we also need to improve our gut health, because without addressing that, we're not going to get that good serotonin production if our gut isn't functioning well. You may recall earlier that I mentioned the gut as being selectively permeable. So this brings me to what is leaky gut. And the correct terminology for this is no longer leaky gut, just so you should know. And it's actually intestinal hyperpermeability, because the gut is actually meant to be somewhat leaky or permeable. It's just an issue when it's more permeable or hyperpermeable than what it should be. So things that can damage the mucosal lining or our gut integrity are things like stress, food sensitivity, so intolerances or allergies and reactivity to certain foods. Zonulin, for example, is a protein that's produced in the gut that is directly correlated to poorer gut integrity. So the higher levels of zonulin we have, it's been shown that damages our gut wall lining and the mucosa. One of the things that we know for a fact that produces zonulin in the gut is gluten-containing foods. And so when we have food reactivity, zonulin levels will come up. So if we keep consuming those foods while our bodies are reacting to them, we're essentially making our gut health worse and worse. So yes, we want to include a large variety in our diet. However, if we don't work on healing the gut, sealing it, and improving our gut health, then we won't be able to consume those foods with minimal reactivity. Okay. Other things that will impact the health and the integrity of the gut wall lining is whether we have viruses, pathogenic bacteria, parasites, yeasts, candida, mold toxicity, stress or chronic stress. This can also all impact the integrity of our gut lining. So it's really important that throughout this 8 weeks, one of our main focuses will be building up a nice, strong, healthy gut wall for strong integrity, to keep those viruses and bad bacteria out, and also to stop that immune system reactivity going on, because we know that when undigested food proteins or parasites or pathogenic bacteria enter through into the bloodstream when they shouldn't be, remembering that the nutrients and water are the things that are meant to flow through into the bloodstream. So when we have a leaky gut or hyperpermeability, those holes in our gut wall become larger, so we're getting things into our bloodstream that shouldn't be going in. So one of our main focuses will be tightening and sealing up those gut wall junctions and making them less permeable, because the symptoms that you're experiencing are likely coming from or partially impacted by our immune system reacting, because those things are leaking into our bloodstream that shouldn't be. So one person might be experiencing anxiety, another person could have depression, someone else might have aches and pains, another person could have autoimmune conditions going on. So how each person reacts is very individual, and a lot of things come into play there as to how we react and what symptoms we're experiencing. But the main thing is that we really want to lessen the immune system reactivity and signaling, saying, hey, something's coming into our bloodstream that shouldn't be, let's attack and give this person all of these symptoms that they're experiencing. So ideally we want to strengthen that gut wall to reduce that reactivity, and that's going to play a huge part in minimizing or eliminating a lot of the symptoms that you might be experiencing and bettering your overall health and well-being, lessening your chances of those things happening in the future if they aren't already happening now. All right, so that was explained as best as I can. But if you do have any questions at all about leaky gut or intestinal hyperpermeability and how that affects our health, make sure you pop the questions on this group page, because if you're thinking it, no doubt someone else is. But hopefully that gives you a bit of a better understanding as to how the gut functions, what a happy gut looks like, and what is leaky gut. At a later date throughout this course, we'll also be discussing what we can actually do for leaky gut. So nutrients that'll help, herbal medicines that can help, and even the foods that we can consume in our diet that will help strengthen our gut integrity. And as well as lifestyle advice too. Things like stress management can play a huge part in bettering our gut health too. Okay guys, I hope you have a really good week. Make sure you share your pictures of your foods that you're consuming.